Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to paint together this beautiful pied flycatcher. The pigments I'm using are lemon yellow, cadmium yellow, burnt sienna, sepia, hooker's green and hooker's green mixed with cadmium yellow to create sap green and cobalt blue. First I used a kneadable eraser to lighten the pencil marks. Now I applied a glaze of water on the bird's frontal areas including the chest and the belly. Then I laid down a small amount of burnt sienna and used my brush to spread the paint around. While the paper is still wet, I dropped in some cadmium yellow under the wing area and lemon yellow on the chest area. Now I applied a dilute lemon yellow under the beak of the bird. This is all wet on wet technique so that the frontal area of the bird is as soft and smooth as possible. Then I started with a very dilute sepia and continued with a very dilute burnt sienna from the tip of the tail up to under the belly area. Now using a very thin brush, I took a small amount of sepia, cream-like consistency and applied on the upper beak. Then leaving a very thin line of white paper showing, I applied more sepia on the lower beak. My brush is actually too thin, it's 000 and is synthetic, so it's not picking up much color. I would recommend a brush of size 0 or 2 for this, but I have neither of them, so I'm using my 000. Now I applied a glaze of water on the head, carefully leaving the bird's eye completely dry. Then as a base layer, I first applied a dilute burnt sienna and continued with the dilute sepia, and always softening the edges after applying the pigment. Then took some cadmium yellow for under the eye. I used my brush to soften the edges. Now I reinforce the colors on the head area with another layer of the same colors. Using my 000 brush and sepia in a thicker consistency, I now define the lower lid of the eye. I'm only using sepia for the eye. This is always wet and dry, that is to say, the paint is wet but the paper is dry, because I want to conserve the white of the paper as a highlight without using masking fluid. So I take a dilute mixture of sepia and move it around with my brush, taking care not to lose the highlight. That is why I'm using my thin brush, because it's a very small area, so that you accidentally don't paint over an area. You need precision. So it is very important to paint wet on dry and with a very fine brush. Now that with the first dilute wash of sepia, I marked the area where I want the paint to go. Now I took some more pigment and applied a second layer. While this layer in the eye was drying, I decided to go once more on the top and back of the head because I noticed that the color was not strong enough once it was dry. In watercolors, it is always better to go light to dark gradually than going too dark too soon, because this sometimes is very difficult to repair. With a thicker consistency of sepia, I created some feather details on the neck and below the beak. And with a heavy cream-like consistency, I created the nostrils and darkened the eye, which creates more contrast and therefore contributes to a more realistic look. Depending on the circumstances, you can also use burnt umber, neutral tint, Payne's grey or even lamp black for the eyes. But in this case, I chose to use only sepia in the eye for two reasons. First of all, I was already using sepia on the bird, so it creates more color harmony and limits the palette. The second reason was, maybe because this bird is quite light in color, too much black in the eye might look a bit off. After applying a glaze of water on the wing feathers, I applied a wash of burnt sienna at the bottom and sepia at the top, and then moved the colors to mix and blend on the paper. This is the area where I wanted to create watercolor blooms. Please take a moment to like, share or subscribe if you haven't already. This greatly helps me to reach more people on YouTube. Thank you very much for your support. Then I applied a wash of a thicker consistency sepia in this area and used my brush to flick upwards, suggesting feathers. Then just before the shine of the paper starts to fade away, I dropped in some water here and there to create visual textures with watercolor blooms. Some of the drawing was almost gone, so I redrew a bit again. Then I applied a glaze of water and then a wash of milk-like consistency of sepia. This is the base layer of the tail feathers, so while that was drying, I applied a small amount of cadmium yellow on this part and also on this part here. Now I took a thicker consistency, you can say cream-like consistency of sepia to start defining the tails. I think this is a good practice of values for anyone because the tail feathers have only one pigment, that is sepia. So one has to work with different degrees of light mixture or dark mixture of the same pigment, which is actually the different values that help us to see different shapes in spite of the fact that it is just one color. And to create fine lines, I'm using my thinnest brush and quite a thicker consistency of sepia. Now I applied a dilute wash of burnt sienna on these areas. I applied a glaze of water on the frontal area of the bird. I noticed that the belly area needed a bit more warmth and also that the chest of the bird had a hint of green of the leaves reflecting. Then I applied a small amount of sepia under the wing area. One of the reasons that attracted me to this reference image, apart from the bird's cute look, was all the bright and sunny green leaves that surrounds her and beautifully complements her. And also, beautiful greenery nourishes my soul. I'm painting this leaf in front of the bird, just one half at a time, because I wanted to form a heart edge right at the middle, which will make it seem like it's looking away from us. I painted all the leaves with the wet on wet technique because I wanted them to look bright and smooth. I steered away from creating much details on them because there aren't much details on the bird, which is the focal point, and painting the leaves with too much detail can distract the viewer. On this leaf here, I applied the warm green at the tip of the leaf and cool green at the base, and also dropped in some cobalt blue at the base of the leaf. Now that the bottom half of this leaf was dry, I took some of the warm green and painted the top part of the leaf. And then dropped in some cadmium yellow to enhance the warmth. For this small fold at the tip, I used a thick consistency of hocus green with my round brush 000, and then I dropped in burnt sienna on both these leaves. And the only detail I created on this leaf was to lift color for the central vein when the shine on the paper was almost gone. Now for this small part of the branch, I used a very dilute sepia and spread the paint to blur and disappear with soft edges. Then I used a cream-like consistency of sepia mainly at the lower part of the branch, carefully leaving out the bird's toes. Towards this end of the branch as well, I applied a very diluted wash of sepia. Now I applied a cream-like consistency of hocus green mainly on the upper area of the branch. and then painted this small branch with just sepia, cream-like consistency. This is Saunders Waterford 100% cotton, excellent paper, perfectly capable of handling masking fluid. However, I did not apply any. So now I have to use my round brush 000 to go in the areas between the two fingers, even though since both the toe and the branch are painted with sepia, so I did have some margin of error. I used thicker consistency sepia for the gloss. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Please like, share or subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next week with a new tutorial. Bye for now.